Life in the Philippines. I am going to talk about something I've spoken about before. Filipinos don't like to talk. They're very difficult to have a conversation with. And I learned something today, speaking to someone. Filipinos also get angry very easily. Uh, you cannot have a discussion with them. If they say something, they expect you to do what you're told. And if you say, "Wait a second, I don't know how to do this," they don't say, "Oh, I'll explain to you how to do it." No, they don't. They yell at you and insult you. Never their fault. So I'm going to tell you what happened today. I got a job working as an English teacher, and they said that I had a subclass, and they wrote SUBCLASS. And when I read it, I was like, subordinate class? What does this mean? A class under another class? So I responded back, and I looked at the calendar because he said he added a subclass, and it said substitute. And I said, "Oh, you meant substitute class. It's not SUBCLASS. It's SUB space CLASS." They went ballistic on me. they they say, "Why are you discouraging me?" And they're saying all this sorts of nonsense. And then the other manager said, "Why are you discouraging our managers? You're the employee, we're the managers. You do what we tell you to do. You're not the teacher who teaches us, and we're not students." And I'm like, are an English teaching company. You should be using proper English. I'm 53 years old. These guys look like they're 18 or 20 years old. I don't know how old they are. But the issue is, these people go ballistic and they never clearly state anything. And they expect you to do what they want you to do, but they don't tell you. So, as an example, they've been complaining. They said, "You need to log in 10 minutes before you start working." So, obviously, and then they complained again. It's like you weren't logged in. And I was like, "I work 2 hours from now." "Oh yeah, but I have to tell 200 people." You said 10 minutes before, not 2 hours before. And second of all, and they got angry. They said, "Why are you discouraging me?" That was the response I got. I didn't get, "Oh, you're right. You have to respond. You have to log in 10 minutes before you work." No, they said, "Why are you discouraging me?" And then the other manager berated me for discouraging my staff. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm preventing them from communicating with me?" I, in fact, told them, "If you need me to do something, you have to tell me. You never told me that I had to confirm that I've logged in. You've never told me that." And they complained to me, and they say it's my fault. And the way they speak like they're angry. I'm going to use the word, Filipinos are like mini Hitlers. And I've had this experience with women, I've had it with men, I've had it with police officers, I've had it with my employees, people who I hired, with friends. If you ever go against the way they think, they flip out. For example, very touchy subject is about religion. I made a religious statement, and the guy said, "You believe what you believe, and I'll believe what I believe." And I was like, I made one sentence about a religious belief, and this person, and they don't say, "Oh, that's not what I believe." They say, "You believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe." They say that all the time. I said to my boss, "You need to tell me what you want me to do." And they responded, "That's your opinion." And I'm like, "You people are crazy. They're crazy people." And what was another example? I can't say some of it because I'll get banned on YouTube, but there's certain subjects that are censored. And this guy started berating me and saying, "I hope you never say that to your friends. You're going to lose all your friends." It was about a health related issue that people are concerned about around 2020. And they go ballistic over it, and they start insulting you, and they won't talk to you. This guy does not talk to me anymore. It was like 2 months ago that I said, "You know that was fake." and he went ballistic. He like berated me for like 5 minutes and ran out the door and said, "I hope you have no friends for the rest of your life." Type. Well, he didn't say exactly that. He said, "I hope you don't tell your friends because all your friends are not going to be your friends anymore." And the issue I had with the restaurant where I said the waitress didn't want to take my order. She said, "Go back to your country. These people are mini Hitlers." She said, "You're a loser. You don't have any friends." And she called me a loser 5 different times. And she came up with like 50 insults. She called me mentally ill, all these other crazy things. 5 ways she called me mentally ill. She said, "The only way that you will no longer be mentally ill is to go back to your country." Because I told her I wanted to order a taco and your waitress ignored me twice. I just wanted you to know, instead of ordering the taco, I went home. She went ballistic. These people are crazy people. And I made the decision today, I'm not going to criticize a Filipino ever again. With the police, if the police officer, if they see you and they go like, if they go like this, they don't say anything. They'll like point or something, but it'll be like, they expect you to go there. If you go up to the police officer and say, "Excuse me, can you tell me what road this is on?" They will start threatening you and harass you, and they'll say, they'll go get their manager. Then there's an expression in the Philippines. They'll come up with a reason to arrest you because they want your money. They won't say, "Oh, this is the street that you're on. Also, this road is closed. You have to go around." And if you say, "Why is the street closed?" then they start talking like they want to arrest you. These people are insane people. So I learned that's why they don't talk, because I was like, I got this job. I don't want to lose the job. I don't need the money in an emergency, but it's part of my long-term plan, and the job is easy. So I thought, okay, I am going to cooperate with these crazy people, but I've learned you just cannot talk to them. I'm not going to ask them any questions. The textbook doesn't use proper English grammar. It's obviously was not written by a fluent English speaker. When I write everything correctly the first time. Sometimes I do revisions. But how could they have gone for this many years with all the English teachers and nobody notices it? And I'm looking in the notes, and it's clear whoever the teachers are don't know proper English. They're not writing proper grammar. They would say things, "The student, it was here today," or "it was absent today." I'm like, no, he or she. You don't, or you say the student was absent. You don't say the student, it was absent. I see a lot of improper grammar from the teachers. So there's obviously a problem going on. And like I said, the topic of this video is, now I understand why Filipinos don't talk. It's because they have a problem with people getting angry and flipping out. And I've seen this for 6 years. I've had this experience where you just meet all these psycho people. You don't want to talk to these people. And someone even told me it's impossible to have a conversation with a Filipino. I was warned about this before I came here. I'm just checking the time. And it's true. If you're looking for people to have a meaningful conversation with, you're not going to find it in the Philippines. And just to make it clear, I have no problem talking to the foreigners. There's lots of women from Japan and Korea and China. Have no problem talking to them. But the Philippine women here, crazy. In the United States, I love talking to Philippine women. I had Philippine friends that were women. But over here, they're really set in their ways. They don't speak full sentences. I lived in Colombia. I did not speak Spanish well. If someone asked me or said anything in 9 or 10 years, I never got angry at anybody. I said, "Could you please explain what the word por la vuelta means?" Never got angry. And they'll say, "Well, it's because we don't speak English. You speak English." No, it's because you're crazy people is the reason why. And I've heard a lot of stories about Filipinos being crazy. It's a gangster country. If you don't know the right person to speak to, you're out of luck. And there's not a lot of right people to speak to. The company is owned by a foreign company. I'm sure that if I speak to them, they'd be easier to speak to, but it's not worth the risk. It's better to just not say anything. That's why Filipinos don't say anything.